G'day guys, it's Brandon Green here, host of Let's Go BrandonGreen.com podcast, and today I'm going to discuss about me being sent to the psych ward. Yep, you all thought Brandon Green needs to be locked up. Brandon Green did get locked up, and he got sent to the psych ward because my friends and family thought that I'd lost the plot, despite me showing multiple evidence, case studies of it happening beforehand, that I wasn't the only person on the planet experiencing exactly the same things that I was describing, and they still couldn't compute it that what I was saying may be in fact correct. They were trying to catch me on the holes in my stories and just stuff that they never could. They thought they could, but they couldn't. And then lock me away because they said I had delusions and possibly schizophrenia coming on. Scary. Very scary time, as you'll see in the videos that I'll present forward. So basically, the reason why I went to the psych ward is because I had long COVID. And I got COVID, it looks like I got a viral infection in February 2020 that was crazy. I could feel the thing in my brain. I remember wanting to get over it because COVID was around, and I thought, if I get over this, I need to get over this because COVID's coming. Because the virus itself wasn't too bad, but it was a weird virus. The symptoms were weird. I feel it in my brain. And then after I never really ever got better, I started to think, and I was having strokes every night for like months afterwards, every day. Just crazy, barely living. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, what I probably had was probably COVID, because then I'm reading about long COVID, and I'm like, this is what I'm going through, and the strokes are probably the blood clots that I was having, and this is all now making sense. Turns out it was mast cell activation syndrome coming on, as well as other stuff, and sometimes you'd have like a stroke thing, and your tongue would go numb for like the next night, and you have to bite on it for any relief because it would feel ticklish, the tongue. My foot would drop for like a whole week. I'd be limping around on one foot, one leg, because my foot would drop. I remember not being able to speak for a couple of hours at a time, not remembering seeing the computer and not knowing how to use it in front of me a few times when I was doing work. I was in the middle of conversation and just went totally blank. It was weird. It's like I couldn't access my brain. So I'm dealing with all this stuff as well. And then all this started reacting very badly to sunlight, like it was burning me extremely. The only thing I could think of, and the doctor, was lupus. We got that checked a million times. He's like, you sure you're not making this up? I'm like, I'm really burning. I'm really photosensitive. And then it just went from there. Then I finally figured out, you then get tested for mold toxicity. You find people with your going through the same thing. They're like, yeah, it looks like it's Lyme and mold toxicity. Very controversial diseases or whatever. Then you go get tested for them, bang, positive. And then you tell everyone, hang on, I found out it's mold toxicity. And then everyone's like, oh my goodness, he's talking about mold. He's one of these people. Oh my God, like, we see mold all the time and it's never done anything. Like I said, it's a weird, and the thing is, I'm a puzzle figure-outer. There's no rhyme or reason to figuring this stuff. It doesn't make sense. It is unless you really look into it. Even the people that really look into it, they'll put their hand up. People who have written books about it, being considered the very best doctors at it, they'll put their hand up straight away and say, we know nothing about this. What we know is what we know. We can get people better, and we still know nothing about it. It's not studied. The doctors who do work with sick people like me with chronic illness, they get laughed at. The patients get laughed at. Medical gaslighting. Like, I knew I could understand a lot of doctors and that couldn't understand what was going on, because for years I felt like I was the only person in the world that was going through what I went through. And then you find out someone, they match exactly the same symptoms, and then you go down there, like they've done 10, 15 years of homework before I come along. It's just a nightmare. So you can understand the doctors don't understand it. You can understand your friends and family don't understand it. But you eventually think that they're going to get on the same page as you, or it's not going to end up where they put you in a psych ward and then you talk to like 4 or 5 doctors in the process of being admitted and they still throw you in. You don't think that they don't think. They just follow their processes, and the processes do not include what you're telling them. They're trained and taught to believe that that what you're saying is perfectly fitting for you to be held down and pumped with a benzo up your ass with a little bit of an added schizophrenia drug. Like, that's what they wanted to give me, schizophrenia drug, a lazapine or something. Well, scary, man, scary times. And I was there, I got sent there, and I'm telling them the whole time. I got EMF sensitivity, so that's like the craziest of crazy. That's the craziest thing you can get, EMF. Oh, I feel 5G, and I feel the bed springs are burning me. Like, that's what I would say, because that's what was happening. Somehow the bed springs are burning me. It doesn't happen. The one thing about mold or EMF sensitivity, you won't find any person who'd previously said, yeah, I'm got mold toxicity, I've got Lyme disease, or I've got EMF sensitivity. You'll never find one person, if they do get better, because a small percentage do get better and they return to normal lives. You'll never find one person who said, yeah, 10 years ago, I was crazy. I had schizophrenia. Why? Because EMF sensitivity is real. It does exist. Mold toxicity is real, does exist. There are tests for it. Oh, those tests aren't right. Okay, then why does everyone who has the same symptoms near enough have the same test results? They've even isolated it down to like 25% of the population have the genes that have this. And if you get like all this, oh no, it's just that the science is too advanced, and it's too advanced for the layman and doctors who aren't taught it. They think they know more than what they should, you know what I mean? So then they've got a more authoritative, no, that's crazy or something. I once had a doctor laugh at me because I said I got better from acupuncture. Like, I did. Oh, that is crazy. You know, like, fuck. Somehow he was taught, or in his head he believed that that's just all nonsense. Crazy, man. You know, and until you're shown or proven otherwise, that's okay to have that opinion. But to have that opinion with such authority and be so wrong, it's okay to have that opinion, but when you got that opinion that you're right with authority to lock someone up, and I believe I was locked up for like 5 days or something crazy. It was at least, I think, 5 days. And then they're umming and ahhing the whole time. And I'm thinking the whole time in there, what do I say? Do I keep telling them that I'm normal? Like, that just makes you sound insane, does it? I don't know. Do I just sit and go with their direction? Then I'm submitting to their power, and their belief is now overpowering my issue. Then I'm locked up when there's nothing wrong with me other than multiple chemical sensitivity. Well, it's fucking, oh man. I'll tell you what, there was that much mold in that bathroom that if my bed was any closer, I wouldn't have been able to, I would have had an asthma attack in there. Like, I don't know, like, you end up not being able to breathe off this. And apparently with mold, only mold people can smell that sweet smell. And I even said, you know, can you smell this in here to the nurses? They went in there and they're like, no, didn't bother them one bit. But me, I can't breathe, and it took, you know, half an hour to reset. And I had to deal with that, you know. And you don't want to make too much of a scene, because it's like God invented this perfect. It's perfect for him to sit up there and giggle and laugh at, because you got an invisible illness, right? And no one can see it, and very few understand it. The only ones that understand it are the people who are going through it, And even we all talk to each other, and we have varying symptoms of the diseases, but we're still, relatively similar. And then the doctors who treat it with their markers that they use, they do have diagnostic markers, but it's just mainstream medicine or whatever, the people with the authority to lock you up, they don't even know it exists, or they're trained to believe it's correct. Anyway, that's my story. You'll see now the video of when I get rung and told that I'm going away, and I'm visibly, oh, you look so crazy in that video. I was just told that I was getting taken away, and I'm like allergic to sunlight, and I was getting like hives in my head at like 5 a.m. when the sun just rose a little bit on the equator or something. It just pops its head up, and somehow that affected my body knew to wake up then and start growing hives and having an asthma attack. It's so crazy, man. Others have said the same thing though, but it seems to be pretty rare, the whole photosensitive in the skin thing, which is weird. And then you've got EMF sensitivity. Yeah. It's just bizarre. So, of course, I'm going to be scared going to a place where I don't know if the environment... I was just lucky the environment was safe enough for me. You've also got... what else? The video you see then of me locked up after like 3 days of full veteran in there. I'm just sitting there, literally locked up with people who have schizophrenia or who have tried to do things to themselves or whatever. I don't know. I didn't associate with them, obviously. Oh yeah, do I associate with these people? Do I socialize with them? That to me is crazy. A sane person talking, eating food and talking to these people. What you're thinking? What do I do? And then the other half of the people that you're locked in there with are the people with authority that don't have a clue what's going on. So you're just there alone, just thinking, oh my goodness, I'm the only person who understands this is me. And then, of course, you know nothing about, this much about your problem. Otherwise, as he said, the nurse said to me, mate, you do have a problem, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And then I kind of thought, yeah, I do have a problem. But you're not going to get better in here from it, Anyway, that's it. Bit of rambling, but yeah, watch the videos and have fun with it. And hope it doesn't happen to you.
Hey everyone, it's Brandon Green here. Just letting everyone know that a lot of you know that I've had mold toxicity now since I got suspected COVID back in February 2020 and been dealing with post-viral illness syndrome ever since. So yeah, turns out, went to a million doctors, turns out I kept saying to my doctor, mold toxicity. Oh no, why not? I don't know. I said, well fuck, it must be that. Let's have a look at it. Went and did the mold test, bang, full of black mold, Stachybotrys. Did some more tests, Candida, through the roof. Everything, like if you've got long COVID, like a lot of people are, look at mold. Like a lot of people are now having mold, or if not, they've got these symptoms called mast cell activation syndrome, which a lot of people will be like, yeah, I've got that since COVID. Or you're sensitive to more things since COVID and stuff like that, which happened to me and everyone. It happened to a lot of people with long COVID, like a high majority. So anyway, I got it so bad, I was sensitive to sunlight, whereas it gets that bad where the light is so bad that you have to live in the dark room for a long time until the mast cells calm down, I guess. It got that bad at one stage where even the light that's on now was burning me like a blowtorch, like just from using my phone in the dark. And that all came and stopped when I had this seizure migraine thing in 10 seconds and I felt my brain blow up and went back to normal. So I do believe it is in the brain, but it's not the brain that's imagining stuff, because you have real symptoms like tachycardia, or you can't breathe properly, or hives, you break out in hives. It's like an allergic reaction. And doctors, many of them don't know about it. Mast cell activation syndrome, they then go, oh, mast cells, they're everywhere. You know, they don't know about MCAS. Anyway, we all do know. People that have long COVID or know about it, they know about it. It's terrible. And try to convince people that you got it, oh my goodness. And try to convince doctors that don't have a clue about it, oh my goodness. So my family and that have had enough of me living in the dark, like I haven't myself. But anyway, the family and friends have run a mental health clinic on me. They came along, I told them all the story. They're like, wow, we've done a million of these, but we've never seen anything like this. But it's hard to know if you're making it up but you seem pretty knowledgeable about it all. Everything, yes, I'm knowledgeable about it all because, of course, I want to get better. I want to understand what I've got. But as soon as you start rattling off that stuff to doctors or nurses that have no idea about it, and the whole thing is, if this was true, we would have been taught it. If mold was really this bad, we would have been taught it. You know? Oh, they have their own ideas that, oh, this can't be happening. Anyway, so then went along, I've now got chemical sensitivity as I began to detox the mold. When I found out all that, a lot of people then developed chemical sensitivity. And that's where any sniff of car exhaust or perfume or anything will then trigger my asthma attack and make it so I can't breathe good. And it can take weeks to get better and build your tolerance back up. Anyway, a month later after getting that, I then got electromagnetic sensitivity. And when you get that, that's like, you don't believe that until you get that. Because, like, I heard of them. I have a solar business. People ring up all the time and ask about the inverter and put it outside because my wife's sensitive to these EMFs. And we have a chuckle, me and the husband. That's happened a few times. Or we don't want the Wi-Fi dongle on it. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I just think, you know, crazy. That's crazy. Like, chemicals you can get. You could get someone to understand chemicals. Mold, no one knows anything about mold until they deal with it. But we all grew up, like, it looks ugly, so it must be bad, you know. That's as far as I knew about it. And then EMFs, though, like, we know Wi-Fi works because you can send data, you know, over the airwaves. We know that, but we never feel the Wi-Fi. But until you get EMF sensitivity, yes, you feel the Wi-Fi. And this might sound crazy to people who don't feel it, but you can. And the feeling's debilitating, like pressure in your chest I get all cramps in my legs. I don't even know. I'm finding out about it more and more every day. So even steel objects set me off. So if I'm in a gym or something, and it's just surrounded by weights, this is how it first went off. I was in a gym surrounded by weights and gym equipment, and I'm like, I'm reacting to something in here. What chemical is it? Then it was like, wow, it's the metal. So I can't sleep on a bed because the bed springs burn my ass and my ankle. Like, it's crazy. And why would I want to sleep on the floor when there's a comfortable bed there? But the bed is biting at me. Like, that sounds crazy, but it's true. It's what's happening. After laying on the bed for 5 to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I've noticed it can be. Sometimes I get to sleep and I wake up 1 a.m. and biting. And, yeah, it's like burning. Somehow the springs latch onto my ankles and burn me or something. It's like an RF burn. Because I used to have an RF machine at a beauty salon and I would play around with it and it would burn. It's the same burn. It's RF burn. And, yeah, I don't know how it works, or I believe I sound crazy to 90% of you, and that's good because you never want to experience not being able to sleep on a bed. It's real. Anyway, I've been committed to a mental ward or hospital. I don't even understand what happens there. They do not believe me. I said, I'm no threat to anyone. I've never said I want to commit suicide, hurt anyone, harm anyone, anything. And I'm now being, and I said, under what? What reason? The doctor believes you're delusional. Delusion. So I'm suffering delusion. Even though I can, what, does that mean that the guy's machine, the dermatologist machine that did a light test on me that came up positive when I had my back against it and told him where I was burning, does that mean his machine's wrong? Like, is he wrong? Is he delusional for thinking that his machine is right? Another dermatologist diagnosed me with photosensitive dermatitis. Is he wrong? What else? The hives that come up, or the pictures of it. Probably just me playing around with makeup. I guess they'll find out when I get tachycardia going and what is the machine just lying. Like 120, 130 beats, just sitting there chilling while I can't breathe. Totally normal again. I don't know what goes on in what happens, eh? Like, and I'm the delusional one. Ha! Well, see how this goes, but yeah, this is the feeling of going to an involuntary psych ward when you're 100% sane. You just are allergic to things and suffering from long COVID, and which in terms, check out mold toxicity, check out candida overgrowth. Go and get something called like an oats test. Work with a naturopath who can get you better or understands it. A lot of you now will be like, oh, I've got long COVID, and yeah, some of those symptoms make sense, and I haven't thought about mold. Like, look into it. It's all exploding. I've got those symptoms. What is it? Mast cell activation syndrome. I'll look into it. It's very hard for people to diagnose and things like that. And the treatment they have for it is very. There's a lot of options like antihistamines, but they don't really work for some people as bad as me. They did in the beginning. They don't now. But like crazy that people can have this much power over someone, over something they know nothing about. Like when I'm explaining it to him, he's like, oh, mycotoxins. Oh, you breathe them in. I said, yeah, you breathe them in. But he doesn't know about like mold colonization or anything. Like what is going, like do some research before you have power and wave your magic wand and send people off to clinic. What, you think I'm just going to go in there and change my tune and not be allergic to light? Like I get all rashes and stuff, all rough stuff from it, from the sun. Like, how do you make up a rash, man? Like, I don't know, who's the delusional one? Anyway, let's hope I get through this.
So yeah, guys, thanks for watching my story. That's how you can go in there without them asking your doctors any questions, without even asking to see proof. They actually asked proof like 3 days into it, and they didn't understand the proof, of course. They asked, they didn't check with the doctors who I told them that. They didn't ask to talk to any of my doctors. A doctor who believed me and diagnosed me with this. Test results from from dermatologists. What does that mean? That the dermatologist is lying? That his machine is broken? Oh, but you didn't really care about that. Then they started to ask like questions when I was there for like in like the 3rd day or something. Like I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs while they're. Fuck, they must have gotten around to my case every day or two and were like, Brandon Green, what are you going to do with him? Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Like, then it just got to day 5 when they would have been like, holy fuck, who fucked this up? And then, yeah, I eventually was allowed to go. By that time, because as soon as I took the benzo, it, like, totally reset. I could tolerate more light. And then as I got out, I got on ketotifen. And then, you know, when I could tolerate more light. When I went in there, it was so bad that the tiniest bit of light was burning me through. Like, I would open the curtains up in the daytime, blackout curtains, and close them, and I'd sting for hours after. That's how bad it was. Versus going out, taking those couple of pills, reset it all, and I was able to, you know, go outside, play basketball for 10 minutes or night, and doesn't sound like much, but it's 10 minutes that you don't get. And then I got outside and told the doctor, and he gave me ketotifen, and that took about 6 weeks for it to kick in. And when it kicked in, I'm like out for hours a day now, and when I'm out for hours, I get back and I'm pretty wounded, and the next day I'll have all pains in like fibromyalgia pains and things like that. Sometimes I'd burn more, and histamine. If I eat high histamine food, it burns more and things like that. But now I'm out for hours. I can jump on a scooter and scoot around the city and go out and eat at a restaurant at lunchtime. I can live a relatively normal life. Well, as I keep doing the saunas, it gets better, and I'll pump the binders and glutathione and things like that throughout the day. And then that day I'll react more until I get all that out of my system, as it just flares me up. But that's what happens when all this happens. You know about it. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope if anyone's interested, they can read my book that I've made about it. That'll be out, and yeah, have fun with it. And I hope this doesn't happen to you. And if it does, you can say, you know, there was once a guy, Brandon Green, he went to hospital, boom. But there's been millions of before me, and it's happened to me. So if it happens to you, just let me know. But yeah, it's fucking scary, man.
So here I am as a totally sane individual. Spent like 5 days now or something in a psychiatric ward in the hospital. Every one of you's worst nightmare, I just lived. And I've still got a smile on my face. This is the room you get. I've made it black as possible because I can't tolerate sun, and because people can't believe that. They think I must be crazy, and they just lock me in and then ask for evidence later. Like, my goodness, they have the power to just say, you know, oh yeah, that checks out. Let's not even talk to him. Let's not even ask him for evidence. Let's not even back up what he says is true facts. This is a psychiatrist, and all these nurses and everything, like, they're so dumb and just can't think for themselves, that they just have tunnel vision until I finally get to the end boss that you got to defeat. And you're just thinking, what the hell do I say to make me feel sane? To make him believe that I'm sane. It's mental torture. But what would you do if you were sent in here as a sane individual? Things just got all out of control when you ended up here. There's an ensuite through there, full of mould, by the way. Yeah, what would you do? Like, there's the bed there, little single bed. Yeah, what would you say? What would you do to convince them that you're fully sane? And believe me, saying you're totally fine does not work. And the more, I guess, you're getting more angry because you're not being believed, so I guess you're really shouting at them that you're sane. What would that look like to them? Mr. Patient, raise your voice anymore and you're going to get a shot in your ass. And that shot will be of a benzo. Calm you down, you go for a nice little sleep for 12 hours. What would you do? Anyway, I had to do it. Somehow I defeated the boss guy. Thank God he had a brain. Because they're not trained to have brains, man. They're trained to follow instructions and do as they're told. That's why anyone with a chronic illness finds it, you just think you go to hospital, they do run tests on you and work it out. That's not what happens. You go there, tell them the symptoms, and they either fit with what they know, or you simply, it doesn't exist. Because if that was true, we would have learnt that at medical school, or I would have seen that before. Nope. So just be careful, because all this can happen to you. Turn the light on, you want to see it? Oh. Yeah. Oh, it's been a good little journey. First couple of nights I was real scared and what the hell is happening? Is this even a nightmare? Then, I don't know, you just get content with it, and then as the more, you know, patients acting out of the realm of normal, they start to calm down and not throwing tantrums all the time. The big thing is about them wanting a cigarette. They go crazy over wanting a cigarette, like get fucking furious. Don't know, I've never been addicted to smoking before, so I don't know, but yeah. They go crazy until they get sedated, I guess. But yeah, then I started to talk to him a bit and learn from him, and it's an interesting time. Or they come in every day, hey, do you want to do finger painting this morning? Or they're running like kindergarten workshops here and that, occupational therapists and that, talking to you like you're just some deluded guy. That's why I got put in under delusions. Man, because I can feel EMF. I've got EMF sensitivity, electromagnetic fields. I'm like, I can prove it to you. That's what you tell everyone, I can prove it to you. Oh, no, we don't have time for that. Like, okay. Well, then what's the option? Oh, you're just insane. Okay. Oh yeah, they've got the power to just put you in, call the cops and just escort you to hospital, and just, you try to tell your case to psychiatrist, they talk you for like dead set 1 minute. And so you say you can feel EMFs and Wi-Fi and stuff. Like, yeah, alright, delusional. Then I heard one of the nurses whisper, yeah, they think you've got on the notes or something, schizophrenia. Right. No, that's fucking scary, eh? Anyway, gotta go. But yeah, if it happened to me, it can happen to you, believe me.
Thanks, guys, for watching the video. I hope you don't have to go through any of that, as it happened to me, and it just left me furious with the whole situation. And I've even, as I said, I've written a children's book about it to try to, get this shit out of my system. You know what? I get a phone call like ages after. It must have been like a week or even more after. Like they were, and when they dismissed me, the doctor never even came in and said, "You're dismissed." He got one of his nurses to kick me out or something. Like I would have too, because it's fucking shameful. They fucked up so hard. And a week or two went by, and then I get a phone call from like the assistant dude, the doctor's assistant that sent me in there. Hey man, we're just checking to see if you're all good. Sorry about what happened, man. Yeah, we're sorry about that. Oh, it just got out of hand. We didn't mean for that to happen. I'm like, oh fucking no, I'm fucking just, like, when I think about it, I get fucking agitated, because who wouldn't, man? Like, what happened to me shouldn't happen. Should not have happened. They didn't check with any doctor beforehand, any specialist, dermatologist, GP who knew exactly what was going on. They didn't talk to anyone. That have been saying this for years, and it slowly, steadily happened. A dermatologist checked with me, and he even used a machine, a phototoxicity machine that you lie on your back, and he checks you to see if you're photosensitive. And I said, yeah, look at this. And then he's like, wow, and he's scratching his head. But he wrote even a letter saying that I'm like, they didn't check with none of this. They didn't even ask for any of this until like 3 days in, and then they didn't even just ring a oh yeah, like it's a known thing. Like, what the fuck? I guess they were trying to search for something that wasn't there to make something make sense on their end, because the truth wasn't making sense to them. It's fucking frustrating, man. I'll tell you, it was frustrating. But anyway, thanks for listening to my story. If you're interested, the kids' book, that'll be cool. And I hope it never happens to you. But you know what? It would have happened it's happened to heaps of people in my situation before me, and unfortunately, it'll continue happening. But that's just the nature of the illness. You look crazy to everyone.